Yo, what is up, you guys? Today's episode is gonna be a little bit different. I would actually like to get a little bit philosophical. In case you don't know that about me, that's how I roll in my personal life. I like to think about life, think about stuff. I don't usually put it out there, I don't usually talk about that stuff on Instagram or TikTok, but I feel like this could bring a lot of value to many of you. I'm going to read a quote, or it's a story. It's an old Chinese story told to me by Alan Watts. I've been listening to his old lectures. By the way, in case you do not know Alan Watts, he's a great guy. I've learned so much from him. He's got. I think he's written over 20 books. He's done an awful lot of lectures. And they are all available on YouTube, and I don't know where else, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them. And it's fascinating. He teaches, or he used to teach about Buddhism, the ways of Zen and stuff like that. By the way, today I'm also speaking in a mellow voice because I'm trying to make baby Kuba go to sleep. So yeah, my voice is a little softer than usual, but let's hope it sounds good in the podcast. All right, so I've got I actually, if you know me, I'm not much of a preparation kind of guy, so I just Googled Alan Watts quotes, and some of them are awesome. This is the brainpickings.com. So I'm gonna read the short story, and then I don't know, we'll just roll. We'll see where it goes. I like to improvise, so maybe we'll talk about the English aspect of the story, some of the interesting words. I'll also switch to Czech in the second part, so in case you do not understand everything, but you are trying, right? So you're listening, sometimes you don't quite catch every single word, especially when I'm speaking faster. When I speak slowly like this, it's much easier for you, right? But it's good. If you don't understand everything, that means you have the potential to use that content to get better. Okay? So yeah, let's go. So this is the story of the Chinese farmer. Okay, I'll read it. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer whose horse ran away. That evening, all of his neighbors came around to commiserate. They said, "We are so sorry to hear that your horse has run away. That is most unfortunate." The farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back, bringing 7 wild horses with it. And in that evening, everybody came back and said, "Oh, isn't that lucky? What a great turn of events. You now have 8 horses instead of just 1. The farmer again said, "Maybe." The following day, his son tried to break one of the horses. While riding it, he was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbors then said, "Oh dear, that's too bad." And the farmer responded, "Maybe." The next day, the conscription officers came around the conscript people into the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. Again, all the neighbors came around and said, "Isn't that great?" And again the man said, "Maybe." What do you think about that? The farmer steadfastly refrained from thinking of things in terms of gain or loss, advantage or disadvantage, because no one ever knows. In fact, we never really know whether an event is fortunate or misfortune. We only know our ever-changing reactions to ever-changing events. So this story, I mean, there's so many levels. I think we could go deep, very deep. One of my favorite books from this guy, Alan Watts, is, I think it's called The Wisdom of Insecurity. The Wisdom of Insecurity. Yep, that's the book. If you are into philosophy, I think you should read it. It brings a new angle. It brings you a new perspective, and while the perspective is new, it's also very logical. Let me break it down. It talks about the world of symbols, and that is our language, our speech. The way we think is through words, right? And words are symbols, but not just the words. It could be, I don't know, money, could be kilometers, anything, right? Symbols, they make our life easier. But the symbol is dividing the world into small bits. And you'll see the connection in a bit, okay? So you have a word for, let's say, the organs. You have a word for the lungs. You have a word for the skin. You have a word for, I don't know, your large intestine and everything. So when you go to the doctor tells you, oh yeah, you've got some problems with your large intestine. But so you start treating the intestine, you start taking some pills, and then some other problem reappears somewhere else because the body is interconnected, as you sure know, right? You know about this. Everything is connected in your body, but not just in your body, but also in the world. Maybe I'm rambling a little bit here. I haven't really talked about this to anyone ever, so I'm trying to sort my thoughts out. So yeah, so everything's interconnected, right? Your body, but also the world. And when you try to separate events, also time is interconnected, right? So when you try to separate these events and try to judge them, try to value them, this is good, this is bad, it's you forget that the way you look at the world through symbols, through small bits, you forget that they are in fact connected, and you're like, okay, so this happened, which means that is pretty bad, you know, but you don't realize that everything is connected, and you have no way of knowing whether something will bring good or bad results in the end. Maybe you've seen the movie The Butterfly Effect. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know what the name in Czech is. The Butterfly Effect. I think it's with Ashton Kutcher, isn't it? Osudový dotek. So basically, I've seen it a long time ago, but basically it's about time traveling and how whenever they tried to correct something in the past, it affected the future in a way that was basically unpredictable. Therefore, the butterfly effect. You know, butterfly effect, it means that a flap of the wing of a butterfly, when the butterfly does this with the wings, it can, by a chain of events, cause a tornado on the other side of the earth, right? So that is what the butterfly effect is. And I would say the moral of the story that I was reading previously is don't try to evaluate single events. Don't try to say this is good, this is bad. Always try to zoom out and realize that there's no way of knowing what the future will hold, and there's no way of knowing whether this small misfortune isn't in fact a very fortunate, right, for you. And maybe it's like a crutch. It helps you to look at negative events, negative, right? Negative events without the stress, right? So you kind of it kind of helps you zoom out. So yeah, this was my ramble. This was my what I wanted to share with you today. So yeah, if you could take away two things. A, Alan Watts is a great guy to follow, and especially if you're interested in just, I wouldn't say philosophy, I would say thinking about life. You should definitely check him out. And B, I don't want to say what you should or shouldn't do, so I'll say it to myself. I shouldn't try to, jak se řekne vyložit česky, vykládat. Slovník, seznam. Vykládat. I'm trying to remember the word. Interpret, yes. I definitely shouldn't interpret small events just by themselves, isolated, because they may or may not lead to something completely different and totally unexpected. So yeah, I'm not so sure. Right now, I'm thinking about deleting this video and not uploading it. But as I said before, this is another quote that I also like, and it helps me a lot when it comes to creating. If it's not going to matter in more than 5 years, you shouldn't spend more than 5 seconds thinking about it. I'll say it once more. If it's not going to matter in more than 5 years, you shouldn't spend more than 5 seconds worrying and thinking about it. It's fucking powerful. And also, do the thing you're afraid to do. That's also my favorite quote. Right now, I'm afraid of posting this because it might make me sound like a nutcase, or it may make me sound like a person who doesn't know what he's saying. But who cares? I hope that this has been helpful for you. I haven't done any English today, any grammar or vocabulary. Let me know what you think about this. And it's just, I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I want to experiment. I want to have fun with it. So yeah, please do give me some feedback, and have a nice fucking day, you guys. Yep. Nothing else to say. Ciao.